Hi everyone, welcome back to Rally Pharma. This is World's Best Doctors channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Linda, a pharmacist who practices in Kenya. And we are continuing with our series of careers in pharmacy. And today I'm joined by a very, very lovely guest. This one you have just to give her a round of applause. So she's going to introduce herself and she will also introduce what you're going to talk about. Yeah, so please welcome and introduce yourself to my audience.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me today. It's a real pleasure, and it's always nice to be invited onto a podcast, especially because I know how much work goes into it because I have a podcast of my own as well. So to introduce myself, my name is Virginia Chachati, and I'm a pharmacist from the UK. So I've been registered as a pharmacist for 10 years. It will be 10 years next year. And I moved to Germany from London about 3 years ago in 2020, and then I started my career as a medical writer and content creator. So that's what I do now full time.
Wow, awesome. So I'm just going to tell you guys that I'm bringing you good people who are going to share what they do so that you're inspired. So Virginia, kindly tell us what medical writing is and your journey as a medical writer.
Yeah, of course. Great question. I think I get that question a lot from everyone, even if they are a healthcare professional, because I'll be honest, I had no idea that medical writing even existed before I had to find an alternative career as a pharmacist. So I couldn't work as a pharmacist in Germany because I couldn't speak German. So that's just a bit of context for how I got into it. And also we moved during COVID, so I don't think anybody really wanted to work in a pharmacy at that time.
Yeah.
The high risk. Yeah, exactly. So what is medical writing? Medical writing is writing health information. And some people think that medical writing is different to health writing, but actually they're very similar. What's different is the level of detail and then also who is writing it or who is reviewing the content. So personally, I think all health information should be reviewed by someone who has a medical background or who's an expert in that area. So whether that's a midwife or a physiotherapist or a doctor or a pharmacist or whoever that will know the most about that topic. And there are lots of different types of medical writing. So when we talk about medical writing, it's like an umbrella term. And there are types of medical writing that I do, which are all about social media and very much public health campaigns. So speaking directly to patients and providing health information in a way that they can understand. And then that's more of the creative side and also a bit more of a sales side. So I call it medical copywriting because copywriting is when you're trying to sell something or get someone to take a certain action, whether that's book an appointment or download your leaflet to find out more about your business or service or buy your product. Because there are a lot more online doctors now because of the pandemic. A lot of people weren't really online. So there's more demand for medical writers and health content. And then there's also the regulatory side of medical writing where you have all of the kind of regulations that a medicine needs to go through. So everything from drug discovery to clinical trials to going through that drug approval process. And then you've got all of the medical communications around that. So all of the leaflets and emails that are produced that go to doctors or nurses or pharmacies. And those are normally produced by medical writers, or all of that stuff. And it's kind of, you know, if you think about what a medical writer does, they're really just communicating to different audiences at different stages of either health information or a product. Yeah. So there's a regulatory side, there's the medical copywriting side where you're more salesy and public facing. And then there's also the education side as well. So some people go into medical education. And then there's also the research and academia side as well, where you are, you know, more like masters or publications and journal articles. And there's also the teaching side as well. So I'm involved in creating courses and helping people and creating content so that they can learn more about medical writing, which is why I was really excited when you invited me to talk about it. So yeah, I hope that's a good summary of medical writing. And there are standards for medical writing depending on who you're writing for. So I'm part of PIF, which is the Patient Information Forum, and we have over 100 members, which are big organizations like Cancer Care UK and Bupa, and there are also some pharma companies as well. So we have a set of standards and we look at their content creation process. And this is something that medical writers will be involved in, because you have to make your healthcare content accessible by considering digital literacy, health literacy, numerical literacy. So some people are not so great with numbers, especially percentages, for example. And being part of that process at PIF is really interesting to me, because it means I get to look at the content process of lots of different organizations and also help them. So in a way, by helping those organizations, I'm helping patients get better quality, high quality health information.
Or just out of curiosity, are you registered in Germany or not?
I'm not registered as a pharmacist in Germany, no, but I'm still registered as a pharmacist in the UK. So if I want to go back to the UK to work as a pharmacist, then I can.
Wow. Okay. So the journey into medical writing, how has it been for you so far? Like, you started during COVID, and up to now, I must assume that there's so many milestones that you've made. So can you just take us through, like, from where you started, your struggles, and until you reached now, where you've reached?
Yeah, that's a great question. And my story is the same. It's changing as I live my life, but a lot has happened in the past year and in the past 3 years. So in the very beginning in 2020, I went online and my husband's friend said, why don't you look at Upwork? So I set up a profile on Upwork, and then I realized I have no idea how the internet works. I don't know what a website page, even how to make one. So I made my first website on WordPress, and I started writing about travel health, because part of my 7 years of working in community pharmacy, 5 of those years was working as a travel health clinic. So helping people prepare for holidays and telling them about the risks. So whether that's, making sure you have the right vaccines, or if you're going to a place where there's malaria, you need to protect yourself from mosquito bites and maybe take some anti-malarials. And so that was really interesting to me, because that was something that I didn't learn at university, but I had to practice it a lot. And so I, had great stories to tell. And it was really interesting that people don't really talk about these diseases, but they're so common in countries outside of where we are in the UK. And I think it's important to raise that awareness. And the WHO is always campaigning as well. And we have Travel Aware in the UK as well, and things like that. But not many people know about it. So I said, okay, let me write about it. And I'll be honest, it was really hard to write, because I hadn't written anything for like 7 years. After you finish university, that's it. The last thing you write is your exam, and then you have your training year, and then yeah, exactly. You just go into practice, and then every day you are, you barely write anything apart from a small medical record or a few notes on the computer. So it's actually quite hard to get back into it. And I ended up winning a competition for Abraham the Pharmacist, who had a YouTube channel, and he was number one. He was the number one pharmacist YouTube channel. I think he still is. He had about 200,000 subscribers at the time. Now he has over 600,000. And so one of the requirements to join, so I saw an advert actually on Instagram saying, I'm looking for a writer. And I won against 900 writers, which was amazing. So yeah, thank you. So out of 900 pharmacists, because you had to be a pharmacist registered in the UK to apply, there were 20 of us, and so 20 of us wrote a script about vitamin D, and I had the best script. So then I got the job, which was great. And I thought it was good money, because I had no idea how much pharmacists or medical writers should get paid. And on Upwork, I was picked up by Dr. Felix, which is an online doctor company. And they didn't pay me very much, but I didn't know any better because I just Googled it like everyone does, and you shouldn't do that. And
Sure.
I ended up getting paid that less than 1p per word or something ridiculous. And I just thought, oh no, what a disaster. But at the same time, I was working part-time at my husband's school in Germany, doing COVID tests for the students and doing some, I was like the substitute teacher. So I was helping fill in because some of the teachers were ill or some of the teachers weren't no longer at the school and that kind of thing because, again, because of the COVID situation. So and it was my husband's first year at the school, so I thought, oh, this is quite nice, I can join you for half of your school year. But then time was running out because I knew that at the end of my 6-month contract with the school, I think I was making like €1,000 a month or something just to work a few hours and do the COVID testing per week. So it was keeping us going, and my husband was working full time as a teacher there. And then I ultimately set up my LinkedIn and I said, okay, I have nothing to lose. Let's just try and connect. Let's use LinkedIn as much as I can. And so a recruiter actually found me through my LinkedIn profile.
Wow.
And the difference between LinkedIn 3 years ago and LinkedIn now is huge because barely anyone was using it. And I feel like a lot more people are using it now. You know, I think 200 million more people are using it in just 3 years. And so I interviewed for a job with a medical communications agency in the UK, and I said, I'm gonna be working from Germany, and they said that's fine because everyone's working remote anyway. We don't have an office, but you might need to fly over and we'll cover your expenses. So I thought, yay, that's great, I get a free ticket to the UK for work, but then it also means I get to see my family. So that was a great scenario for me. And at the same time, I was finding a couple of freelance projects here and there. So writing for like Pharmacy Magazine, writing for Pharmacy to You, writing for a contraceptive pill company, because they one of the things I included in my portfolio was a little Instagram company page for my travel health blog, because I thought, oh, if I'm going to write a travel health blog, maybe I can grow an Instagram page as well. And it had 9 posts on it. And they really liked it. And they said, oh, do you want to do our Instagram? And I said, yes. And I was like, I only made that Instagram as a very small project, but that was enough for them to have confidence for me to work with them on their Instagram. So I've been working on, Instagram strategies and social media strategies as a freelancer as well as a medical writer. And then I was made redundant from the medical communications agency after a year, which is not great because it was the first time that's happened to me. And actually, I had got so much experience and trained so many writers during my time at the medical communications agency or medcoms agency. And I worked on big clients like Asda Online Doctor, Zaba Online Doctor, and the London Clinic. So those were hundreds of pages of content, and I was writing some of them. And then I was also training writers on how to write them and follow the brief from the client. And so they were very successful projects, but once the contract ended, there was no new work. So that's why I was made redundant, which happens in business, which is fine. Obviously, it was a shock at the time because I had worked so hard to get that first job. And after that, I had a 3-month break. But during that time, it took me 2 months, about 3 or 4 rounds of interview to get my job at Orca, which is a health app assessment company. They wanted me to write the app descriptions. Because they were taking the app descriptions from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and they weren't really very helpful. So I built a new structure for the app descriptions, and I wrote over 300 of them in my time there. And that was really interesting for me because I didn't really know that much about health apps or how many there were out there. And so having that kind of experience was great because I know that there's a lot of potential for digital health and a lot of health apps helping patients and helping to take some pressure off the NHS and reducing the need for drugs as well. So medicines, because some people are a bit worried about, getting addicted or being dependent on medicines. So it's nice to have that alternative. And I think in future we will be prescribing health apps like they do in Germany, actually. So later at Orca, I was made redundant again. And a lot of us were made redundant in the marketing team. So I think there was a lot of ambition in the company to have a certain amount of business, but we didn't reach that target. So unfortunately, some people were let go, and I was one of those people, and it's fine. It was less of a shock because it was the second time that happened.
Wow.
Twice in 2 years is it happens.
A lot.
So now I decided to do full-time freelancing. So one of the things I regret, I guess, is that I didn't keep up any kind of freelancing once I got my job at Orca, because it was very new to me and I had a lot to learn. So I didn't really have the mental capacity to take on any freelancing. But after that, I had to start creating more content again. And then I decided to start a podcast and work more on Write Clinic, which is our medical writing business, and helping other people to get into medical writing. And so that's what I did. And then I started doing exactly what I say in our courses and all the time, which is you network with people, you try your best to find clients. And then a job with PIF, the Patient Information Forum, became available. And I definitely applied, and I wrote a cover letter and my CV and everything. And then I was also involved with the NHS, creating videos for their YouTube and their Instagram. And now I've recently joined the WHO FIDES, the World Health Organization content creator kind of collaborative or collective, if you like. And so we'll be creating public health campaigns, which are worldwide, which is really, really exciting and amazing. And it's just really nice to have that connection with the NHS and YouTube Health and the WHO. So I've come a really long way, and it's been through consistent effort. And then I've also been helping other people along the way as well. So now when I take on a freelance client, I'm always thinking, how much of this work do I have to do, and how much of this work can I, give to someone else so that they can start their journey as a medical writer.
I heard you mention about like the FIDES and the YouTube Health. Can you tell us just a bit more about it and any opportunities that actually you've got as a medical writer?
Yeah, absolutely. So YouTube Health is an initiative that YouTube have come up with. And the person who is the head of YouTube Health in the UK is Vishal Varani. I also have recently connected with the head of YouTube Health in Germany as well.
Wow.
Because they both ran the same YouTube Accelerator course, which was 10 weeks, which we just completed last week, actually. So very recently. And essentially, they want more people who have a healthcare background to actually produce content. And the problem is that people who have a healthcare background traditionally are very busy. So there's definitely an opportunity there for medical writers to collaborate and work with healthcare professionals to write their scripts or help them through video editing or through design or anything that they can to produce that content. And when you reach 1,500 watch hours in 12 months for your channel, then you can apply to the YouTube Health features, which is where you will get a badge on your channel to say this channel has a licensed healthcare professional, whether you're a doctor, nurse, psychologist, or other type of healthcare professional. And then your videos will appear at the top of search results in a section called from health sources. And it's a way of getting your health content out there beyond the four walls of your clinic. And I think it's such a great opportunity because it's so fresh and new, and it just started this year. So there was a course in March where they were kind of warming people up. That was 5 weeks, and I attended that one, and that's where I met the NHS team. And then the YouTube Accelerator was 10 weeks that we just completed. And it's a fantastic community to be part of because everybody has the same goal. You're all trying to create high quality health videos that people can watch. And there are lots of topics that are not covered on YouTube. And so I would say, if you're passionate about sharing your knowledge and you're a healthcare professional, or you're a medical writer, then approach a healthcare professional and say, hey, you know a lot about this, maybe we can work on a channel together. And that will boost your authority online as well. So healthcare professional that is producing or helping to produce information for your channel, then you will benefit from that as a business as well. So that there are opportunities for that. And the WHO FIDES or FIDES is an initiative by the World Health Organization, where they want healthcare professionals who are building health content online to help them run worldwide health campaigns. And it's all a little bit secretive because there's no official list of who is on that team.
Yeah.
But that's to protect the creators, because we want to avoid them from anything happening, basically, that could be a campaign against them, for example. So we work together to see what kind of campaigns we can run together, and then we produce content and we all release it around the same time, so people can see related content from a collection of healthcare professional creators.
Wow.
And it's just an amazing group to be part of, and they're really helpful and they're really supportive, and you can apply to be part of WHO FIDES. Just search it on Google, and there's a Google form on their page where you can apply. And even if you don't have a channel yet, they're very encouraging. They said, you know, even if you haven't created an Instagram or a YouTube channel yet, just join. They're just really eager to get real healthcare professionals to share their voice, and that's really what it's all about. So they have the same kind of goals as YouTube Health, and the way I found out about it was through YouTube Health. So you can see how all of the social media and online platforms are all working together with the big organizations to make sure that the public have access to high quality health information.
Wow, that's really, really great. So I'm really interested about the fights, and I know I'm going to just Google and apply. So if you're a health, I'm sure it's not limited to the UK, right?
It's worldwide, yeah.
Oh, it's worldwide. Awesome. So if you are into content creation, please just go Google. I'll leave it in the description box. Sign up so that you see you can benefit from it. Really, the downside of content creation, since you've been here for like 3 years, I know sometimes you can produce content. For example, like you're a podcaster, you produce content, and with the aim of maybe it will reach a certain number of people. But then at the end of the day, you get very, very few views. So what are some of the downside of being like a content creator, and how can actually someone pick themselves up and just get moving?
I think that whenever you create anything online, it's not going to be used only once. So once you create something, you put it out there, but then you can always repurpose it, so you can use it again in future. So never think that the one time you make something, you just release it at that one moment and that's it. You can always release it again in future. And if you watch any kind of social media, you will see that popular creators will go back to their very first videos and they will post them after they have a big following, because they want to show people, look, these are my first videos. I thought they were great. And they will perform really well. So it's more about getting into the process of creating and just do it because you love it and you want to make a difference. You want to have an impact. And obviously you can be strategic about it. So if you find content gaps, then that's probably the best way to create content. But if you know something really unique, then people will discover it as well. And some of my videos that I've released, you know, they still get comments even now that I released 2-3 years ago. Even though it has just 1,000 views, it doesn't matter. It's getting people to see that information, and then I can always make that again, because I know that, you know, 2-3 years ago that was my level of production, but now it's so much better. So if I create that content again, I will already have a history online of being an authority on that topic. So wherever you are, and just get started, get going, and make sure that you are not burning yourself out over it, because it can feel really overwhelming, but really all you need is a good microphone and a camera. Don't even worry about the lighting. as long as people can hear you and see something, it's fine. And then don't worry about editing. Just, even basic editing where you cut out bits that you're not happy with, that's fine. People get really hung up on trying to be perfect, and it's just not possible to do that. And you need to lower your expectations a lot in the beginning, but then also we're a community. And we're a community, so reach out and ask people for help as well. So if you want to learn something from someone or ask them a question about their equipment, then just reach out to them and I'm sure they will help you. So that's the really nice thing about the health community, is that we're always trying to be helpful. So definitely that you will grow as a person and you will connect with amazing organizations and amazing people, and you'll help to have more of an impact together. And one of the cons is that it's hard and you always feel like giving up.
Experience.
You just have to keep going. But then it's okay to take a break. Sometimes if you feel overwhelmed, then it's just not working, then it's okay. Take a break, go and do something you enjoy. And if it's not right for you, it's not right for you. You don't have to force yourself. And you can always help other people with their channels. So some people, they really want to be part of a YouTube channel, but they don't want to be the person on camera. And that's fine. You can help with other things like the script, doing the research, doing the YouTube thumbnail, doing some artwork, or helping to spread it on other channels. So writing about it on LinkedIn or writing about it on Instagram. There's so many things that you can do to be involved in content creation, and as a content creator, but then also as a medical writer, because you'll have that knowledge as to how to write things in a way that is helpful for patients.
There's so many pharmacists out there who really want to join this space, but they don't know how, they don't know such opportunities exist. So to those pharmacists out there, what piece of advice can you give them?
So pharmacist to pharmacist, I would say, set up your LinkedIn profile. Don't sleep on LinkedIn. Actually post. And if you don't want to post on LinkedIn, make sure that you like people's content, that you comment on their content, and then have conversations. So when you send that connection request, you can actually add a note, and you can write something small like, hey, I saw your post, I really like it, I want to connect because I'm thinking about being a regulatory medical writer, or I want to get into health content creation. So start building those connections. We have a free LinkedIn group that you can join that I've been running since 2021 because I wanted to help other people. And that has over 5,600 people in it now. So follow that, join that group, and then also follow Right Clinic. We have a podcast on YouTube where we share the experience of a lot of medical writers, so you can learn a lot from them, and we run free webinars as well, and we give lots of free tips, and we have a free ebook with over 61 tips to help you out from rightclinic.com. And so there are lots of free resources out there. And then if you do want consulting or one-to-one consultations or courses, then those are available as well. And you can learn a lot from a lot of people. And then once you feel like you want to take that extra step, that's when you probably start paying and investing in your education and in consultations and things like that. So I've definitely been involved where I just have one consultation with someone, and then they have all the answers they need, and that's it. Now they're a medical writer and they're really enjoying being a medical writer. And you get that freedom to work from anywhere if you want to work online. And then if you are in the UK or in whichever country, there are lots of medical communications agencies. So reach out to those, reach out to recruiters, reach out to CEOs, do your research, build your portfolio, definitely. So start your own blog like I did in the very beginning, enter competitions, set up your Upwork, just do as much as you can, put yourself out there as much as you can. So if you had a handful of rice of opportunities, spread them as far as you can, and then they will grow as long as some of them sprout. So not everything that you plant is gonna grow, but you have to accept that that's how life is. And you never know what opportunity is around the corner. So, you know, being made redundant twice, but now creating content for the NHS and WHO and health is like,
wow.
I never saw it coming. But I was consistently putting in effort, consistently posting on LinkedIn, putting myself out there, networking with people, you know, taking flights to conferences, and doing different things. So I'm really excited for the future, and you can definitely make it if you want to. So don't give up, start somewhere, and then just keep.
Okay, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your advice, and I will leave your LinkedIn if it's okay, so that whoever wants to connect with you can connect with you. So thank you so much for coming, and we'll connect more, we'll talk more, because I'm interested in so much that you're doing, so I'll chat you on the side. Thank you so much, everyone. Please, if you like this video, please share it, and if you have a question for her, please leave it in the comment section, then she will answer. Thank you so much. I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye.